Hi there, it's Tessa with Side Stitch Magic again, and I am doing a follow-up video on some utility fabric that I purchased. I did one of those really quick YouTube videos with no sound or anything like that, just, a short video with the blurb on there. But there's been some questions that are being asked about this utility fabric that I purchased at a local Joann's. So a little bit of a background. I live in a rural area. The local Joann's was about 45 minutes away, and I've recently moved my sewing space, and it's closer to a bigger city. And so I walked into a local Joann's and in Central California, and I wanted to see if they had any waterproof canvas because I was moving my sewing area and I needed some quickly to finish a bag. So I went into the Joann's, asked if they had waterproof canvas. They directed me to the back of the store and said that if they had any, that's what it would be. Of course, they had all the standard duck fabric. They had a lot of the exterior type of canvas. I didn't find exactly what I was looking for, but as I was coming around, because I picked up some of this canvas, and as I was walking towards the back of the store, they had like a clearance area. And as I was walking back there, it said something, what is it called? It's called Happy Value. So I walked back there and they had a full shelf of what looked like waterproof canvas. And I was shocked. I was like, well, it wasn't where it was supposed to be, but that's really cool that it's in this clearance area. So I walked up to the shelf and looked at the price, and it was $2 a yard. And I thought, for $2 a yard, I can't beat this, right? So I might as well give it a try. Walked it up to the place where they cut your fabric. I asked the employee about it, the staff, what is this exactly? And she said it's a utility fabric, but I use it for bags. And I was like, wow, okay, this is cool. So I only got a couple of colors. I think I got 3 or 4 colors. I think this is what I bought originally, including black. So I just picked up some colors that I knew that I could use for either bag making or for card slots or, something like that. So anyway, I picked up some different colors, and then after I did that, I used it for a couple of beverage slings, H2O to goes. I also used it for a couple of mavs, which, if you can see on the inside of this bag, this side's probably better, you can see it. The thing that's really interesting about this fabric is that the whole time that I was working with it, I just kept thinking to myself that I know that I have seen or worked with this fabric before, but I couldn't place it. And it wasn't until I started moving my sewing stuff that I found this piece of fabric. And although I don't have any more of this, I bought this from just a regular company that I buy a lot of waterproof canvas from. And I believe that this is light enough weight that this is probably more like a water resistant canvas, but for the purposes that I use it for, it's worked out fine. So as I was working with this fabric, the utility fabric, there was also something else that kept popping up in my mind. And that was, and it wasn't until I bought the brown that it dawned on me that the reason that this was familiar to me was because I have bins that are made out of fabric, like the regular cubby fabric bins. Let me grab one for you. So this right here is a fabric cubby bin, and of course this has fabric on the right side and the wrong side, but it has cardboard in between it, and this is what I use to store my scraps and stuff like that in my cubbies. And so of course, once I realized that that's where I had seen this fabric, felt it, it was because it is identical to this brown fabric that I bought at Joann's Fabric. So if you have a cubby and you use these cubby bins, the cloth bins, if you're like me, you know that these last a really long time. I've had these for at least 6 years, and I use them a lot, and I stuff them, and I constantly, yanking on them. I don't take any special care with these, and there's no rips or tears or anything on these cubbies at all. The cubes, I should say. So the other item that I've used it for is for the beverage slings, for the H2O to-goes. I've made several with this. I have had no problem so far. It's very easy to work with. You can see what it looks like up close. Same thing, it has the cloth on one side, and then I don't know if that shows up in video, but it has kind of that shiny backing to it. So the other thing that I've done is to test it with water. And if you spray the outside, you can see it's dripping off on my floor. Great, right? But you can see that it beads up. It does not come through on the back. Now, I don't know if this is considered water resistant or waterproof. Use it at your own risk. I don't want to get in trouble, you know, disclaimer, as with anything in any of my videos. Use it at your own risk. But I've sprayed this 3 or 4 times and nothing is showing on the back. So that's the back of it. That's the front of it. You can see the water on it. Some people recently asked if this can be used for making wallets, like the card slots. I don't see why you couldn't. I mean, it folds nicely. There should be no reason that you should not be able to use this. If you're asking, one of the other questions I had was, is it thicker than like the landscape fabric? Yes, it is. It's definitely thicker. So if you want to use this in a wallet and you already have some thickness, I would recommend still using the landscape. I mean, it's up to you, but I would probably continue to use the landscape fabric for my wallets. I like it. It works great. It's inexpensive. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it is totally staying on the right side of the fabric. So anyway, I hope that this helps. I hope that you are able to find some at your local Joann's. I just looked at mine and there is some available. Now, what I don't know is if what I have at my Joann's, it's called Happy Value. So look for Happy Value when you're looking at your Joann's, or when you go to ask them, you know, what you're looking for. It's called a utility fabric. What I don't know is if it's going to be $2 at all the stores. Now, I live in California where everything is expensive. Breathing the air is expensive here. So I would imagine that if I can find it for $2, you should be able to as well. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Please subscribe. And if you have any more questions, just drop a question in the comments. I will try to follow up a couple months from now after having used it for several months and let you know. But as far as I can tell, it's what I have used in the past. It's what I have for my cubby bins, and I think it's going to work out really great, and it is such a good deal. So anyway, happy shopping, and thanks again, as always, for watching.